We are going to be grading and ranking every NBA team's draft in this video. Surprising no one, the Atlanta Hawks took Zachariah Risache first overall. I personally have not been a huge fan of his, but his cutting ability combined with his shooting ability and defense would fit him perfectly next to Trae Young and Jalen Johnson. He was the right pick to be made given Alexander Sarr's reluctancy to go to Atlanta, so I give the Hawks draft a B. On Monday, I'll be giving a very strong opinion about the Deni Avdija trade, but for now, I'm going to celebrate the Washington Wizards since they are clear winners. They get a clear A grade for this draft. They got Alex Sarr, who a lot of us thought was the best player in the draft at pick 2. He's in a situation where he can develop. You also took a swing on two guys that have insanely high ceilings, and you're a Washington Wizards team that has all the time in the world. You got your potential guards of the future. You got your center in the future. All you need is forwards, and guess what? Next year's draft is going to have a bunch of forwards. So A grade for the Washington Wizards. Reed Sheppard was drafted at pick 3 by the Rockets. I love it. Perfect complementary piece for a young and rising Rockets team. The Rockets' issues last year were playmaking, three-point shooting, and turnovers. Reed Sheppard addresses all of those. It's an A pick, although I do have questions about him translating right away. My favorite prospect in the draft all year was Stephon Castle, and he went 4th to San Antonio. The Spurs love two-way players, and between Castle, Sohan, and Wemby, they have 3 elite defenders that will all fight for the right to guard the opposing team's best player. He is a point guard, yet he can play off the ball with his cutting ability and high basketball IQ. He always makes the right play, and his only limitation is three-point shooting, but he impacts the game in so many other ways that there is a low chance this pick is a miss by the Spurs. I mean, at worst, Stephon Castle is Bruce Brown. As much as we all wanted to see Rob Dillingham on the Spurs, it was a great move trading him. He's not really the best fit with the team. Harrison Ingram pickup was good, so I'm giving the Spurs draft an A, making this 3 straight A's. But the Pistons will not be getting an A grade, and will be getting a bad grade actually. Although I like Ron Holland as a player, the fit is questionable as three-point shooting is something that will definitely need work, and it is an obvious weakness in Detroit. Not ideal. Then you factor in how he and Asar compare to each other, and honestly, I see no world where those two can play together. So as much as I love Ron Holland as a prospect and player, this is a D grade draft for Detroit. Rooting for Ron Holland though. Questionable pick at pick 6 for the Hornets. I have no idea who this dude is. I mean, he looks to have good physical tools, so I guess there's potential there, but I honestly have no clue. KJ Simpson could be a steal, but playing behind a bunch of guards already, probably not going to pan out well. The Portland Trailblazers are easy winners. They got 2 perfect complementary pieces to their young guard trio of the future. Donovan Cunningham is the perfect center for the Portland Trailblazers team. I don't care about DeAndre Ayton or Robert Williams. DeAndre Ayton isn't going to help them, and Robert Williams is always hurt. Donovan Cunningham can be perfect there. Deni Avdija, we'll talk about that on Monday, but yeah, perfect job for the Portland Trailblazers. Rob Dillingham was traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves after being selected 8th overall. The bench scoring for Minnesota was abysmal this year, and now they have a microwave scorer whose biggest question mark is defense and size. Well, Rob Dillingham just so happens to now be on the best defensive team along with the biggest team in the NBA. Terrence Shannon Jr. was a great pick as well, and I like the overall draft for Minnesota. The Zach Edey draft choice by the Memphis Grizzlies is a 50-50 split between a good move and a bad move between the NBA media. I like it because I consider the fact that the Memphis Grizzlies have absolutely no money to spend, so they're not going to get any valuable center, and they just need to address size. And the only thing about Zach Edey that isn't a question mark is his size. So that's a great draft pick. And then Cam Spencer, he's also a good three-point shooter. So I like this draft. I give them a B because there is a lot of question marks with both of the players they got. I'm giving the Jazz a C because I think they just ruined all 3 of the prospects they drafted's careers because they're not going to be able to develop at the NBA level. Sure, they need to start in the G League, at least J-Dub Jr. does, but once they get to the NBA level, there's no place to play them, and Utah's not going to go out and say, oh, we're rebuilding, oh, we're trying to compete, because they're just stuck in the middle, and they just ruined all 3 of these guys. The Chicago Bulls do not look at defense at all, given their past few moves, and with them drafting Matas Buzelis, that does not change that issue at all. I'm not high on nor a fan of Buzelis when looking at his potential as an NBA player, but I do like Chicago taking a guy that is a project, as it shows them choosing a direction. The Thunder didn't really need this pick, but they used it to draft Nikola Topic, who literally plays just like Josh Giddey. So yeah, they got Josh Giddey's replacement literally a week after trading him, which is kind of funny, but I give this move a B. There's not really much to say about it. The injury, sure, if he comes back, he's good, great. If not, no biggie. With defense as a necessity, the Sacramento Kings made an excellent draft pick by selecting Devin Carter, who provides you with elite defense combined with natural scoring ability. I think Carter can start day one in the backcourt next to Fox, and because of that, I give this pick an A. The Miami Heat made a shocking pick as they drafted Kelly Oubre out of Indiana. His versatility is going to be something that you love to see, and if he learns how to become a true grit and grind player, it'll make me love this move even more in the future. Jared McCain went to the 76ers and will be a perfect fit with the 76ers with his elite three-point shooting. McCain has the potential to be like Maxey and or Quickly, which is insane value at pick 16. At his worst, he will be a spot-up shooter, so I give this an A. Adding a Dembona will be valuable given his energy and strength, probably a better option long-term than Paul Reed given the physicality he plays with. I am so upset that Dalton Connect fell all the way down to 17 for the Lakers. There's no logical reason that you could argue for why this happened. There's none. He is a lottery talent, top 10 talent, and he fell all the way to 17. It's absolutely ridiculous. The Lakers needed three-point shooting and more killers. Connect is a killer, and playing off of AD and LeBron will allow him to be a deadly scorer. I like the Tristan da Silva draft pick, nothing crazy. But they traded away a proven shooter in Antonio Reeves, while their biggest weakness is shooting, which really hurts their team grade. When you are a young team like the Raptors, getting lottery talent outside the lottery is huge, and that is why their pick of Jacoby Walter jumped out to me as a good one, given his upside and scoring capabilities. Adding Jamal Shed was nice as well, but a rebuilding team went for upside picks, and that is something you love to see. The Cavs used pick 20 to take a more league-ready wing, or at least that's what it looks like. I do see the vision with this pick, so I'll give it a generous grade of a B. New Orleans needed a center and ended up with ICYMI from Baylor. I do like ICYMI for the Pelicans outside of his fit next to Zion in the front court. Other than that, it is a B draft. Antonio Reeves was an excellent value pick too. My Phoenix Suns pissed me off yet again as they traded a player I wanted them to draft in De'Ron Holmes to the Nuggets of all teams. Nuggets get an A for that, but the Suns then drafted Ryan Dunn. I won't lie, he's an elite defensive player, we all know that, but he has huge question marks on his three-point shooting. He's not a great complementary player to our team. I would have loved for us to reach on Jamal Shed, if I'm being honest. He is a great defender and point guard, solves two issues with one player. I see the vision of Oso Ighodaro as a potential playmaker at the center spot, but he cannot shoot and will inevitably be left wide open and hack a shack. So my Suns get a D for their draft, since I'm not thrilled about it. The Milwaukee Bucks made a shocking pick at 23 by selecting A.J. Johnson, but I believe this was made for the upside play given the ceiling of A.J. Johnson. Regardless, he will not be playing in the NBA next season and may not even be able to play the year after. The Bucks have been able to develop talent in the G League though. I mean, look at Middleton and Giannis. Those are two players they developed into all-stars. Nobody thought anything of these two, and the Bucks development made these two all-stars. The same message applies with Tyler Smith at 33. I like what the Bucks did, and I'm giving them an A because I know they can develop these two as they are preparing for a potential future without Giannis if all hell breaks loose. The Celtics concluded round 1 and are going to conclude this video as they get an A grade. Baylor Shireman and Anton Watson were great picks. My screen shows the rest of the draft grades for other teams. I didn't really talk about most Fs because they didn't do anything crazy. And yeah, if you don't draft people, I can't really give you a good draft grade. Feel free to pause and look at the grades, but that's all I got for y'all. Last week's rankings were my free agent rankings, and that video is on the screen, as well as my weekly recap in case you missed it. That drops every Monday. Rankings drop every Friday, and what I have for y'all next week is going to be crazy, so don't forget to subscribe, turn on post notifications, and like the video if you enjoyed. Y'all stay safe. Have a good one. Bye.